Derpy derp, derpy derp, derp. It's been a rough morning this morning. My kids wore me out last night, so I'm really excited. I'm really tired. Anyway, welcome to Peace Fat Paints. Sorry for the little, I don't know, whatever you want to call that. I didn't quite get it all set up properly to pop on right. Anyway, mainly because I forgot.
Don't open this.
Did you really just throw that on the floor?
No, I dropped it.
You totally threw it on the floor.
I did not throw it. I went back in my room.
Thanks for the water, man. I appreciate it. Muchas gracias. Anyway, hope everybody else have a great day. It's already an exciting one for me. Anywho, we are still working on this Batmobile. Goodness, God, whatever. Oh man, I sure am sleepy. We're gonna be okay. Set up the new palette, so it's getting a little dry. We're mostly probably working on a lot of white today. I gotta get everything completed on the framework of everything. So kind of a little bit of tediousness, but it's good. It's a good thing to do. We might also get around to doing a little bit of work on that Joker. That's my hope, anyway. Yeah, wild. The Diddy Castle Artisan with. Did you hear about the Diddy trial? I saw something come across my news feed. I didn't actually get a look at it. I saw that he got away on the sex trafficking. It's like, dang. It's crazy. It doesn't matter now, though. Everybody know what Diddy been doing. I was kind of wondering if they were going to be able to get the racketeering, the 2 prostitution charges. Yeah, I figured that's what they were going to get him on. Racketeering is really hard to prove. Like, you got to really, really have your ducks in a row on that, and it's difficult for the prosecution to do it. It's why it was so hard to bust the mob. I mean, the whole thing was devised to help them try to bust the mob, but it still was not as easy as they wanted it to be. That's crazy. Ugh. If he didn't have all that money, he'd have gone down. He had enough money to get a lawyer that was able to like get the right things said and do the right. Ugh. If there were any of us, we'd have just gone down. We'd have just gone down for racketeering, y'all. Yeah, his money paid for that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's probably technically right, which is of course the best kind of right, but it is also the most infuriatingly types of right where you're like, oh, yeah, and that's why you pay top dollar lawyers, because they're able to like find the thing that makes it. Golly. Old Diddy. What didn't Diddy do? Goodness. It's so aggravating and so funny at the same time. Man. P. Diddy got away with it. Yeah. I mean, shoot, Hugh Grant had prostitution charges. It almost gives him like more street cred. That's not quite fat enough, is it? We'll clean that up with the green here a little bit. That definitely. That was not fat enough down there at the bottom. What the hell is that dog barking at now? Probably the poor old ladies that walk down the street. They all carry canes around because they're scared of this dog. Even though the dog doesn't come out of the yard because it's scared of it. At one point in time, we had this shock fence for a little while. And the dog thinks that there's a shock fence still there. And there's not. But she was harassing old people. So we had to do something to help her understand she couldn't go do that. Because you couldn't talk to her because she's a dog. She didn't understand. She was just trying to do her job. And I hate those damn shock fences, but man, we tried a lot of different things. She'd dig under the fence. But man, as soon as we set one of those perimeter things in there, it was the end of that. She's like, oh, nope, I'm not digging holes anymore. Like, oh, this sucks. I'm not doing this. It was definitely a last resort for anybody who's watching worries about dogs. I definitely exhausted some other options before I broke down to that. And it was funny because actually it got to where like it was a collar she had to wear, and she doesn't even wear this collar anymore. But she still hasn't figured it out. And it actually made this beeping sound she didn't like before she even got to the point where she'd get shocked. She didn't even like the beep. So I don't even know how many times she actually got far enough or close enough to it for it to actually give her a little deterrent. But oh, trudging through that stuff's brutal. So boring. I kind of just want to do it off the camera, so you guys don't have to watch that crap. That's super boring. Let's see. Let's mess around with this Joker face again. Wonder right. This one was based off a picture. I've forgotten where that picture was. Whether I saved it or I tossed it. Because sometimes I go through and delete stuff. Looks like we'll have to try and look that one up again. How fun is that? Okay, so Joker graffiti. Sure, I found it in this. course, now I'm not gonna be able to find it. That's why I should have saved it. That's what I get. That's fun. You know, maybe we can just make one up ourselves. Okay. Man, just put that back on there. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna clear off this old stuff. Diddy. Be giggling about that stuff all for the rest of the day. What did Diddy do? What didn't Diddy do? Oh, hey, how are you? Extinction Rampage. It's a lot of X's. Okay. So we'll make this a little bit bigger. So I'm thinking is most of the Alright, so we want to make sure we set his hair in first. The Joker kind of has that poofy kind of style of hair. I always recommend trying to sketch in a little bit of what you're doing. Just so you can kind of see where you're going. And this one, we want it to be eyebrows, so eyes would be here. Real hard to draw inside the fin of the Batmobile. It's probably a little too far out. Let's bring that back in a little bit. There we go. That's better. Gives a little bit more room to work. I'm just sketching the rest of this face on it real quick. Alright, and the idea is to have a playing card covering up part of his face. Put his ears in, eyebrows. Now the eyes look a little bit better there. There we go. Awesome. Have you been doing since the Toy Con? Oh, Yeah, been doing great, man. Working on this Batmobile. Just a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. Getting ready to start looking for the next one of those to do. I've got a few other things to take care of in my personal life. My I got a lot of kids, so they keep me busy. Yeah, we got this Harley Quinn done yesterday. I'm gonna put her on there, and then I said it's a bunch of this. It's really graffiti all over it. I want to I'm putting another Joker here. And I'm thinking we kind of want him to be holding a card. So chain comes here. Alright, let's grab a reference. Let's see. Magician holding a playing card. Magician hand holding a playing card. Gloved hand holding a playing card. There we go. Gloved hand holding a... Why does it bring up knife immediately? There we go. That's even the Joker's hand. Right there. Ah! Don't drop that thing. Break it again some more. Actually, it might be helpful if I did. I need to get in there and reset something. It'd probably be helpful if it popped open. Okay, so right about here. And just kind of keep working your way through these fingers. It's really good to have a reference here. It's hard to explain how useful they are, having a reference. Almost right out of here comes the back of the... So I'm going to put that curve in next. can actually probably put his little. So Nick goes right here. And we got a collar to a jacket. Put a little bow tie here. Shirt. Right, Joker's a bow tie wearer. Right. Jacket, the shoulder, but we don't actually need to draw in that shoulder. And the rest of it, we'll just put in some colors to fix all that. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bing, boom. I'll freehand in some of the rest of this. Clear this line out so we don't get ourselves confused. All right, I'm gonna rest my hands. All right. Now, I guess we'll outline this. So kind of like we did with the Harley Quinn, same thing. Same idea. We're going to kind of put in an outline. It's going to help us see what we're doing. Again, this will probably end up just being green. Oh my god, somebody actually heard the dog bark. They never go let the dog in. All right. So again, we're just basically just going over the lines we just drew with white, and that's going to help it stand out. And the paint doesn't rub off quite as easy as pencil does. Which we want that for sketching because we want to be able to clean up any of our sketches that we messed up on, but we don't necessarily want that for when we get around to painting it. Oh. Again, thanks to anybody that stops by. Really appreciate everybody. Likes, comments, subscribing, all that kind of stuff is really awesome. This is a kind of a vlog for myself to kind of keep track of my painting stuff, and it's been very helpful in like keeping me motivated. I kind of recommend it for anybody who's kind of, maybe you're trying to just up your game. You know, or you know, you could have a million reasons why you want to just kind of start some sort of a painting vlog, but it's kind of fun. Even if you don't release it to the public, you know, these are live, so. But you don't have to. I don't think that that's a necessary part of the game. You know, you do. Just if you were just going to record yourself, or even if you're just going to like make a calendar where you're watching where you were doing, saying, okay, well, this week I painted that much, that way, and I'm going to try to do more next week. There's just something about kind of holding yourself to a little bit of a standard that's kind of fun. Or a schedule, I suppose, is what this really is. Shirt collar here. And then a jacket over top of the shirt. Rest that hand starting to get a little numb in the fingertip. If you ever feel numbness in your fingers, always kind of give yourself a stop. Just let it, let your hand rest. Put it to your side. Relax it. Kind of maybe force your fingers out a little bit like this. What you don't want to risk is running into like nerve damage, because you could easily give yourself a little bit of nerve damage by continuing to push on once you feel numbness in your fingertips. It's really something you got to worry about more when you're older than you would when you're younger. You can do a lot more before you get that feeling, but when you're older, definitely start making sure you're taking your time. Oh. Stretching is always good. Stretching is always good. Again, these are rough outlines. We're definitely going to be making changes to them as we go. But you want to be able to see your outlines. So make sure you get them in a bold enough color you can see them. kind of pointy. It's kind of interesting. And then you want that smile really kind of come underneath this. And again, we're just kind of really trying to block a lot of this out. Now this one may have a little bit more of extended smile than the other first one over there. It's kind of hard for me to make it look like two different artists did it since I'm, one artist. But I'm gonna do my I'm gonna do my best. Maybe one artist, two different styles of the Joker. I think you can kind of see the idea coming along right there. Let's see what we're gonna do with it. Silly hand. Okay. So let's put in. We're gonna put in the. I guess we could start messing around with it. Put his face in first. Or the hair. Let's do the hair. Let's do the hair. So I got to pull out another color. I like having colors on my palette. It might be like might be a little childish, but whatever. It's always helpful, in my opinion, to get some of that blocking in. The color, once you can start seeing the colors in there, it really kind of helps define where you're going. A little purple, plenty of white. We need to get a little bit of black out. I honestly don't really use a lot of black. I prefer to use other colors, but when you're doing like cartoon things, you almost always need the black. Cartooning uses, because it's you're emulating like a pen and ink thing, and the blacks are very common in inks. Black ink is very common. Even though, truth be told, there is no such thing as true black. Because black is technically the absence of light. So you can't actually make a paint that's black. You'd have to create some sort of Lovecraftian horror that sucks out the light from the universe. It's like something from Doctor Who or something. So when we get down into these spots where we have like these eyes and stuff like that, we're gonna drop back and kind of fill them in with black when they dry up. Kind of like we did on the last face, we can do a lot of maneuvering and fixing things as we go. Too much water. Too much water. We're just gonna come back. I'll just paint that back in black when I come back. Same thing with the smile. We're just gonna put this white in and paint it up when we come back. It's gonna be a lot easier. I think the card, instead of making the card pure white, I think we should make it an off color. An off-white. Yeah, like a Naples. Naples yellow. This is great. I need this for the other project I'm working on too. So I always that's another thing I like, using a bunch of the same colors so that I can move from project to project, and it's gonna be hard for me to change a palette or something like that. And honestly, once you learn how to kind of create your tones and colors, you can do that a whole lot more easily. Catch on to that. Sometimes paint doesn't like to catch what it's supposed to. Typically because it's too wet, or it doesn't have a primer. This is because it's just a little too wet. I'm trying to keep my coat real thin. And this is the reason you keep it thin like that, is to, in case you make a mistake, it's easier to clean up. Right. I'm gonna let that set and dry. Come back and drop another couple of colors in there in a minute. Because technically this comes all the way down. That's his neck. We'll give him like a bright yellow shirt or green shirt or something. What color shirt does the Joker wear? I want to say it's green. It depends on who it is, I suppose, which Joker you're telling with. See, that one's got that ochre color, which is fun. Heath Ledger did the green. Green's common, ochre's common, orange is common. I guess we get to make a choice, huh? Orange would be fun. We don't have a lot of orange on here. An orange might be nice. That'd be cool. An orange shirt. Purple. Yeah, we got orange down here on this, but okay, that might not be a bad idea. We're getting that nice color orange with that rose. Of course, now it's falling in there and it's hard. And help! I've fallen and I can't get up. Why is there a back on it like that? I have this paint thing that's supposed to hold my paints. And it definitely doesn't make it any easier than just leaving them out on the damn table. And so, like, I'm almost about to throw them all out. I've had them for several years now, and they look pretty. And they, you know, it kind of helps keeping your stuff where you can find it, but not enough for it to actually matter. It almost makes it more frustrating sometimes for no reason. Okay, so let's draw. We gotta draw in part of this jacket because there's not part of the code. So should technically be coming down like this, and then we would have the shirt right there, right there. Maybe you can put the other part of the jacket lapel right there. The fun thing about doing something like graffiti too is that it can be a little off and nobody really notices. Like, your proportions don't have to be exact, because then it just makes it look a little bit more like graffiti, if that makes any sense. Because like graffiti artists, they're not overly concerned with it being perfect, if that makes any sense. That's not their. The idea is to get the
incoming call from 183.
Incoming call from denied. Access denied. Okay. One of the things about this particular pink, though, is it really does not like to set up. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt. I wonder if we had just a little bit of white to that, if that would help. Not really. It's a little easier for me to see what I'm doing, but it's not really helping per se. It's just a very thin pigment. I'm gonna try to give it smooth. You don't want it to be real globby, especially this first coat. At least as the least globby as we can possibly get it. There's still a little pink in it. be fun to be back to painting regular miniatures. It feels like we haven't done that in a while. Well over a week's worth of episodes messing with this Batmobile. We'll come back and fix these eyes. Kind of leave a little bit of an idea where they are, but the rest of that, we'll just smooth that white in. Rest of that finger. I guess we'll throw on some purple real quick. While we're at it. Alright. This to be purple. That's purple. Yeah, we need the bow tie green. Nice and thin, so we can kind of see what's going on underneath there. Just like on the hand and everything else. Okay. Just like I said, we're getting those colors blocked in, getting some ideas set up, so we can come back in here and we can finish up the rest of the details. Very similar to the way we did both the other Joker face and the Harley Quinn. Alright, a little coffee drinking. We're on the market today. And for those of you who did not notice, Diddy got away with 3 of the counts that he was being charged with. So Diddy is having some downtime. Well, looks like I'm doing really well. Something happened. What happened in the markets? Yeah, everything is slightly up, but I'm way up. NASDAQ is up 0.7%, almost 0.8. S&P up to almost 3%. Dow Jones only up 0.06, so it's not even 10%. So I don't know. I'm up over a percentage today. Great. That's nice. If you trade stocks, may fortune favor you. It's rough. Stock trading is rough. And not in like a fun way. Oh. Well, we're going to have to glue that piece back on. this thing has been coming. All these chrome parts really have not wanted to stay on. I think we're gonna break out the Super Glue now. I've had enough of playing nice. Yeah, it's just a problem with like chrome pieces in general do this. I don't know why they didn't just tell people buy Dango. I guess it's so, you know, kids on Christmas morning can open it up and start building it or whatever. But dang it, if you're gonna start modeling, you should really learn how to flip and do it. I hate to be like that. But sometimes it'd be like that. Okay, let's see, where were we? Whee! Enough to make your toes curl up. Enough to make your toes curl up. Okay, now let's see. Nose. You want to come out and then slightly back in. And then this one is coming down like this. The little hook of the nose gives him the nose has been broken look. And we'll adjust these lines. But we kind of want to get them in there so we have some reference. And we'll do this smile. We actually want to do that smile in crimson when we get back to that. We're just going to put the red in and then we'll put his teeth in. For now, outline this card. Give him a chin. this will be that more traditional, longer face Joker. You see a lot in the comic books. This one's more the Mark Hamill animated series Joker. I kind of like this pink, but I'm really excited to see the yellow gold on it, orangey gold, cadmium kind of color. The hell is that little fuzzy stuck to it? I don't know what the heck that was. I kind of like the pink. The pink's kind of crazy. It was a little Easter Bunny-ish, though, so, yeah, maybe not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and friends, and folks of all ages, appreciate you stopping by. We're going to get back to this guy tomorrow. We'll leave it a little bit of time to dry out. Oof, I was sore in the back of my head. So we have a little bit of time to dry out and do its thing. So yeah, that would be great. And then tomorrow we'll come back and we'll finish that Joker up. I think I might do a little bit more of the outlining on here while off camera, just because, guys, that's just so boring. I mean, I'm just gonna get it done. That way we don't have to do that on the live. It's boring. We'll get to the more like the cool stuff, like doing the actual, the actual cool tags, the Joker face and stuff like that. So anyway, I hope you guys had a great time checking out what we do here. I really appreciate it. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe. Helps the algorithm. Those likes really do. I don't know why, but well, I guess that does make sense. If people like it, it shows it, and people really like it. Especially if you're into miniature stuff already. It really helps my algorithm. So, and now I see we have like a top fans thing, like it's tracking my top fans. So the more you comment, the more you get on there, and I can see who my top people are. I still don't know how many people watch at once because I turned that off. I got too distracted. So, but I do appreciate anybody who does come watch. So really, thank you very much. Yeah, be good to each other. Be good to yourself. Be good to somebody. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. So go out there and be nice to somebody. And keep painting. I'll talk to you later.